Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Daily Cast. Tonight it is another our Dota 2 casted special. Specifically, this one is brought to you by Shiny Pidgey. Well, I'm not actually sure if he's one of the players in tonight's match. We'll be finding that out soon enough. As per the usual, state of the channel will occur at the end of the Daily Cast. To add on a little bit more, this match is going to be an all-random match. Specifically, it's between two non-organized teams, as far as I can tell. So without further ado, there is no draft. Let's just get this show right on the road. It's a good thing I just pushed that button twice in a row.
Prepare for battle.
For 1 millisecond, I'm like, wait a second, did I just start the broadcast over again? I certainly hope I didn't. Perhaps I did. I don't know. Someone will yell at me. Either way, it's time to get this show on, and immediately, pause coming out anyway. I could fix this if I wanted to, but it's not a problem. Let's go through the roster just quickly. Over on the Radiant side of things, Canman 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, because names don't need to make sense, apparently, if you're named Canman. Physics as our Chen, and specifically Canman is our X. Bear Commando on Invoker, Reviticus on Bane, 3 Snowmouse on Clockwork. Over on the Dire side of things, we have Defeat as our Pudge. And yes, by the way, the update came out today. First Blood has occurred. You'll notice up on the top side that the Dire health is now in red. And not only that, down on the bottom side, their health is in red as well, which is just such a cool little side effect of that update. And just one of those little details that I love that Valve pays attention to. Continuing on, Sidian as our Skeleton King. Puck, dodging bullets 98. Infamous Tugboat as our Lina. And finally, Saturn, the Saturn rocket, the planet, something like that, here as our DK during this match. Already the teams have started heading towards their lanes. It looks like we'll be dual laning this potentially. SK is hanging around in the spawn right now. My guess is he's going to either rotate into a tri-lane for some silly reason, which it looks like he's going to rotate back up, and this is indeed going to be a tri-lane between DK, Lina, and SK. Down in the bot lane, it'll be an off-lane Puck and a mid-Pudge. They're going to give the Pudge as much room as they possibly can, because Pudge isn't one of these heroes that you can really throw in the off-lane. Puck can actually do off-lane, so it's always that you see the Puck mid lane or the Pudge mid lane. It's never that you have both of them on the same team. So the fact that Pudge and Puck are on the same team will create issues with at least where they're going to lane heroes, but they've already resolved it, obviously. Meanwhile, off-lane Clockwork doing his best, even as a DD rune actually, doing his best to delay the creep wave for as long as possible. Now, one creep did get away from them, and it looks like he's going to come in here and start contesting the lane. And immediately we see Lina rotate out of that lane. Apparently DK not going to have any problem with a DD Clockwork even. So he already feels safe just going into this. She is counter-warding, which is a great thing to see, but it is the unfortunate side effect is Lina is the one with the wards in this situation. If they had wanted anyone to have the wards, they would have wanted Puck to have the wards so that Puck could deny the camp, and not only that, but he can put a ward right here or just anywhere in here in realization. Any rune vision is a plus when you're trying to get that. And yes, they do have top rune vision, but so do the Dire have major rune vision right now. Plus, they actually did block the full camp. That's the big difference between the bot and top lane. And they did put out one offensive ward, so they're going to have better vision if they have to pull back towards the tower. But one of the issues they have is they're up against a Clockwork. Clockwork's not going to be in here getting too many last hits, because he's going to get harassed out by Lina. And this is one of the situations where maintaining creep equilibrium is going to be an interesting challenge for the Dyers. They're going to be very, very careful about maintaining said equilibrium. If they don't, then the lane's going to push out, and this offensive ward they just put down is essentially going to be nullified just by how much their lane is pushing. Ah yes, we have an Invoker on one side and a Lina on the other. This is the one match in this game where I get to worry about saying Sunstrike or Lightstrike, because we have both Sunstrike and Lightstrike in this match. So that's going to be a lot of fun trying to discern between which one's which. They have the same sound, same cooldown animation. The only difference is Sunstrike is just a little bit larger, which it does look like Invoker going to be going towards that Sunstrike very early on. Trying to deal with Pudge mid lane, going to be an entertaining one, considering that Invoker, he's so squishy. If he gets hooked, if Dismember comes out on him, he is essentially dead. Invoker will be instantaneously dead. So he has to play this very carefully. Pudge is most likely going to control the lane, but as we can see, Creep Equilibrium is already pushing in favor of Invoker. The one thing he doesn't have in favor of him is actually the CS in this mid lane, and Pudge is the one taking away the CS in here, so Invoker so far going to start falling behind in the mid lane. Pudge is trying to get as much gold out of this as he can. Meanwhile, Axe down here in the safe lane, farming the jungle. Bane actually the one in lane right now, trying to play against this Puck. In mid lane, Chen doing his job to God and Country. He's got his creeps. Well, actually, he doesn't have his creeps at the moment. He's actually just stacking and pulling, but now he is most likely going to bring in his creep, and indeed he is. Wildkin Ripper coming in, gonna pop that tornado, and in it goes. A free creep camp for Chen. I heard that hook sound. Indeed, in comes the Pudge. Rod gets popped. He's chasing after the Invoker. So much damage. One last cleaver, and that will be it for this Invoker. His Quas, his full head of Quas just wasn't enough for him in this situation. And Pudge is going to get the first blood in this mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane going to get a little bit aggressive both ways. Bot lane, Puck having a little bit of fun. Axe comes back in here. Battle Hunger comes out. Bane, has he already used Nightmare? He has, but it's just not enough. And Brain Sap going to kill guarantee. 1-1 now, and in the top lane, Clockwork starting to take a little bit more aggression from this Lina and DK, trying their best. But again, the Creep Equilibrium is just going to start pushing in their favor until it goes under tower, and that means the tower is going to start taking a small amount of damage depending on how it works out for them. Clockwork going to pop his cogs, just trying to stay in lane, trying to harass whatever he can, and it's not even exactly harassment. More along the lines of it is simply him trying to get a little bit of lane control back, trying to muscle in some space for himself, and that's kind of an interesting thing to do. Skeleton already off in the jungle. Oh, Axe this time going to get picked off. Pudge going to rotate down bot with that DD rune. Axe not going to be so lucky. He's just unable to rotate out in time, and that's going to leave a Bane all alone. And Skeleton King actually going to get killed in the jungle by a neutral creep. That's not a very good situation. It's making it 2-2 now in favor of, well, no one for that matter. And again, I just want to point out this ward is completely useless right now. They've been pushed up in front of that ward 80% of the time in this lane. Now they're actually going to fall back, and they're still only going to be right next to it. Clockwork is still very safe, and right now he does have an Axe rotating up towards him. Over in the mid lane, Pudge rotating back towards that mid lane, TPing in. Gets to go back to playing with Invoker, who in the meantime has actually fallen behind in experience just a little bit more. Pudge, even though Invoker's caught up in CS game, Pudge went out of lane. He was able to pull off a gank, and he was able to get a kill out of that. Now he's coming back in. He pops the hook. Are we going to see the Dismember? He's got it. There's the Dismember. There's the Rots. Will it last enough? It's simply not enough damage. Invoker going to call down the Sunstrike and deal just a little bit of damage to Pudge. But a little bit of suicide damage. Not even suicide damage. What it is, it's that little bit of damage where, right, I'm going to die. Well, at this point, screw it. I'm just going to throw this at you and deal whatever damage I can just to harass you and see if I can do a little bit of harassment while I die. But unfortunately, that's going to give just a little bit more XP to Pudge, who's now level 8 in comparison to Invoker's level 5. And in that situation, in that mid lane, Invoker needs the XP to be relevant against the Pudge. And in the meantime, it looks like, yep, Tether comes, Dream Coil comes out from Puck, as well as an Orb in. Actually running out of mana, but not an issue for Puck here, who also has a bottle, may I point out. He's not even mid lane, and he has a bottle. Chen's still just farming away. He's got his Wildkin Whiffers. He's going to be ready to start pushing towers whenever he needs to. The Cyclone will guarantee him some lane control. Oh, Pudge comes in once again. Gets the hook off and the Dismember. Now Axe going to get taken down. Lina, Light Strike Array comes down. And that also means not only does Light Strike Array comes down, but Sunstrike comes in as well from Invoker. But Invoker, I mean, he just hasn't gotten off any of his Sunstrikes as of yet, which is a bit unfortunate.
Radiant's bottom
Meanwhile, Invoker trying to catch up and farm. Pudge comes back in, hooks a creep, and a TP in from Axe by the look of things. They're going to try and get a little bit of mid lane control, and by mid lane control, I mean Axe is just going to TP and put down wards and then rotate right on out of there. Looks like we are rolling support Axe this time around. It's not too often that you see a support Axe. It really isn't. Especially when you have
Radiant's
Bane
bottom
on
tower
your team.
is under attack.
I would have been more interested in seeing a hard support Bane than a support Axe right there. Yeah, Axe is good for support, but it's less common than you see him as support, especially when you have other heroes that can fill the role of support on your team. Oh, DK falling back, finds that Axe. Battle Hunger comes in, not gonna dive tower. Clockwork is, though, he's going for it. He gets, yep, he gets stunned by DK, but in comes the Culling Blade from Axe, and, well, Clockwork doesn't care. He may take a little bit of damage from the tower. It's not an issue for him. And in the meantime, Axe is even going to annihilate this creep wave, meaning the tower is going to take just that little bit more aggression and a little bit more damage going to head its way.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Now we do see the Pudge rotating up towards top lane as well as Lina and try and save this top tower. Nice aggressive ward out for the Radiant, though. They have vision of most of the jungle. It doesn't block the camp in any way, but it does give them great vision. Oh, if they put that ward just slightly down a little bit more, it would have given them a little bit better vision on this stairwell. But in the meantime, it does give them great vision up towards the lane itself. Again, Bane gets caught out by the Puck here. Bane is in a solo lane against a Puck. Especially, he's in the safe lane against a Puck. This just deals that, or just really just proves that it's not an easy thing to do against a Puck. Puck is more suited for a mid lane, but Puck can do an off lane, and that's proven. If you do a 1v1 against the Puck, Orban, you have the Dream Coil come out, you have the Waning Rift, and boom, that's a lot of damage heading your way. And if you're not prepared for it, if you can't get that Nightmare off because you're silenced, instead he's just going to come right back in. Fiend's Grip isn't going to be enough, though. The channel's about to run out. He's going to have to do something about this. The Brain Sap comes in, but it's simply not enough damage. 53 health left on that Puck, and Bane's going to be left for a 90-second cooldown on his Fiend's Grip for what is essentially an overplayed attempt at a gank, and it wasn't even a successful gank for that matter. It gives him a little bit of lane control, but if you had just waited for Chen to rotate into the lane, that could have been a kill confirmed, especially check is a mech already. Jesus, Chen building pure into a mech. He got a 9-minute mech. That's actually impressive. Hell, that's very impressive to see a 9-minute mech. So far, no tower is going the way of either side. This top T1 very low on health. Axe going to rotate behind it. Battle Hunger comes out on Lina. In comes the flare. Light Striker going to try and stun him. Just doesn't. It's too late. Lina goes down. Now the DK pops his Dragon Form. He falls back towards the tower. He wants them to try and dive tower, but instead, Clockwork and Axe is not willing to do so. They're going to let the creep wave come in. They're going to let it push DK around. In comes the Battle Hunger. In comes the Clockwork trying to get in range for the Cogs. No, Cogs actually still on cooldown. Flare comes out. So much damage, and the Culling Blade from Axe with the kill guaranteed. Cogs just getting popped here, and now the tower still taking damage. Axe could have pushed it a little bit more there, but it's simply not going to happen. Meanwhile, they're pushing bot lane as well. Bane and Chen going to head towards that bot lane. Pudge, he's coming into the top lane. He's got his phase boots. He's looking for a hook. Is he going to find it? Instead, he's going to find an angry Clockwork. Flare comes out. They find the Pudge. They're just going to run right by him, and in the meantime, their own creep wave has pushed in, and that means the tower's going to be safe, at least for a little bit longer. Bot tower, not so lucky. The Wildkin Rippers come in, the Cyclones come out, and that means that Puck and the Creep Wave are going to take damage just trying to get to the front line. Not only that, but if the tower's taking damage, they're going to go down. Ooh, I wonder if that was a D-ward, actually. I don't think it was. Either way, TP in. It looks like Lina herself going to TP into this bot T2 tower, which is already taking just a little bit more damage. A quarter of its health gone. Pudge going to rotate into that top lane, finds the hook. Is he going to find this swimmer? No, the swimmer already went down. Now he's rotting himself down. He does commit suicide. A very nice play. And in the meantime, down in bot lane, Puck going to get overextended. The stun comes out. The Fiend's Grip from Bane. Or not the Fiend's Grip. Actually, was the Fiend's Grip. Again with the Fiend's Grip.
You can't keep me down.
Very, very willing to spin his Fiend's Grip. Here is this Bane, and they are going to kill confirm the Puck with
Radiant's middle tower is under
T2
attack.
tower not going to go down, but another kill for them while they're going to lose one kill in that top lane. Sunstrike comes down from the Invoker, and he's got to be like 0-5 at this point. I don't think he's landed a single Sunstrike as of yet. He was looking for the DK there, and that might have been a kill confirmed, actually, but that's simply not going to happen, and DK just able to walk on out of here. Back down in bot lane, though. Another... No, just Nightmare comes out this time from Bane. They back off. Nice hook from Pudge. Going to save his teammates. And Puck going to TPN to defend this tower. It's going to be 3v3 in the Radiant. They're not going to feel very safe doing this. So they're just going to back off. No problems whatsoever from them. And extra rotation. Lina Pudge heading towards the river. Sentry Ward comes out. Observer Ward. They're going to give themselves a little bit more River Rune vision. And by River Rune vision, I mean they have top rune, bottom rune warded. And the Radiant don't actually have vision of either rune. Oh, never mind, they do actually. This ward just barely going to squeak the vision of that rune in there. Nightmare comes in here mid lane. This time the Light Strike Array going to land. Pudge going to try and get out of here. Clockwork forced to run away. He's got a haste rune. Is it going to be enough? Laguna Blade comes out. Just 23 HP left on that. Clockwork, 23 HP. He goes back to the chain for the mech. And now there's a 4-man push in mid. Ready to do this. They're looking to push the tower at the 13-minute mark. And while this isn't an extremely aggressive build, they're slowly starting to build towards an aggressive side. Their towers haven't really been getting pushed. Top T1 got pushed very early on, but not anymore. Puck Orb comes in, the Pudge Hook going to miss and find a creep instead of anything it wanted to find, but it is going to pull that creep wave. Phase Shift comes out from the Puck, getting away from that Clockwork temporarily. Fiend's Grip comes in though, and that's a dead Puck. There's no better way to get a kill confirmed than the lockdown. I mean, just Bane's lockdown. Fiend's Grip in general will almost kill confirm in its own regard. You have a teammate there to assist it, it's pretty much kill guaranteed right there. Mid T1 tower going to go down here, and that's just a little bit more gold going the way of the Radiant. Already they're at a 2k advantage. XP's 1.5k. They're looking to extend that. They're already starting to 5-man this at the 13-minute mark. Skeleton King getting caught out here. He's still trying to run away. Just so much stun heading his way. Thankfully, he's able to get out of that. Puck Orb comes in, dealing a little bit of damage to the Chen creeps. They're trying to grab away. One goes down. The Saturn, not so lucky. And now the Ogre Frostmage trying to get back, and actually is going to escape back behind their own heroes. And it's a little bit of a Mexican standoff here. The Dire don't want to commit to a push. They want to stay underneath their own tower. But the Radiant don't want to commit. Oh, the Pudge Hook finds it. They find a Clockwork. In comes the that just really spaced mine. Either way, in comes the Puck. Puck Orb going to try and make this happen. Nightmare comes down. In comes the Lina. In comes the DK. Flare comes out from the Clockwork. Meteor drop from the Invoker. Trying to make this happen. Oh god, I'm forgetting things left and right. I'm so sorry. Punch Hook comes in once again. He finds the Wildkin Ripper. Lina not going to be so lucky. Gets taken down by the Battle Hunger from Axe. Now, Battle Hunger comes down once again on the Puck. Turns this right back around. Orb comes out. Orb's right into the enemies. He's looking for that kill. Instead, he's going to take Cold Feet from the Invoker. He's taking a lot of damage. Chen, nice phase shift from that Puck. Just running away. Trying to deal as much distraction as possible. Puck going to go down. Pudge rotating right towards them. Instead, Battle Hunger comes down. The Pudge Hook finds the Bane. Bane going to get taken down. Battle Hunger remaining on that Pudge. Instead, they turn right back around. Creep Wave pursuing the Radiant right towards the jungle here. DK once again going to get Battle Hunger. Going to turn right back around. TP right in here. Almost getting caught in the cogs from Gyro. He is going to get stunned by them temporarily. Already DK in his dragon form, looking to deny and delay this push for as long as he can. In the jungle, Axe and Chen just trying to deal with the creep wave, which they've pulled twice now. A very smart move. But again with that Punch Hook, Bane gonna nightmare himself, trying to save himself at the time being. Meteor drop occurs. This time, Clockwork not gonna be so lucky. He goes down, but the Brain Sap comes in from Bane. Skeleton King going to go down. His ult looks like it's not up at the moment. And he just didn't have the mana for it, actually. So no, ult not going to pop. And it looks like this protracted siege of the T2 tower going to fall apart for the Radiant after what seemed like a 2-minute push. Kills on both sides, but that is going to extend the lead just a little bit more for the Radiant, making it 11-8 now. Oh, an invisible Bane heading in here, gonna get hit directly by the orb from Puck. Acting as a scouting force, Fiend's Grip comes out. Why? I'm not quite sure. I don't think he can actually get the kill, and the Pudge Hook just gonna save him anyway. So that Fiend's Grip, the largest waste of a Fiend's Grip you could possibly do. And that's been like the third Fiend's Grip that's happened with. It deals a little bit of damage to Puck, but it's not enough harassment to actually justify popping a Fiend's Grip in that situation, when you could have waited for an allied hero to get there, and then you could have gone for an actual Fiend's Grip there that locks them down, prevents them from moving, and allows you to get in a much better position, allows your teammate to get in a much better position for the kill there, especially on a Puck, where the issue so much with Puck is phase shift plus orb equals, guess what, it's the equivalent of a blink, only this time dealing damage won't deny that blink. Axe going to push forward. Tower's going to start dealing just that little bit of damage. And Puck moving forward. Battle Hunter is out. The hook comes out, not going to find anything. This time stun comes out. Axe going to get hit by the Ice Wave pretty head on. And actually that's kind of a silly thing to say, considering that Invoker is on Axe's team. Now Pudge pushing very aggressively forward. He's looking for a hook if he can. Or forward from Puck. Going to try and catch up with the Pudge so far ahead. Is he actually going to find that hook? That's what he's looking for. Axe is pushing forward. If Pudge finds this hook, it could go very badly, especially if the Dismember ready. Instead, they're just going to push the creep wave, and they're looking for yet another push on this mid T2 tower. The Radiant so far flexing their muscles. There's no T1 towers remaining for the Dire, whereas the Radiant still have all of their T1 towers, and I think they're still at pretty much full health. In comes the wave mid. They're looking to start applying aggression. Oh, that hook lands on the Bane. Dismember comes out. Mac actually getting popped. Will it save him? No. Puck Orb comes in, dealing that final blow. Ice Path comes out, though, from the Invoker. In comes the Meteor Strike. Puck goes down. Gets the kill on Axe at the last moment, though. Clockwork dealing with Skeleton King. Pudge trying to rotate out. The Chen comes back in. Skeleton King going to go on. The Pudge hook just barely missing, and Invoker now very far forward with no teammates. A little bit out of position, but not a problem for the Invoker, who's able just to back off. No problems whatsoever. While the T2 tower, it's still up here. They dive the tower looking for the kills. They lost one hero and got 2 more. Overall, a very good engagement for the Radiant, who right now, their net worth is starting to explode through the roof. And they realize they're starting to push towers very aggressively, and as long as they keep their net worth into this mid-game, then the mid-game's still going to go in their favor. But if the Dire start controlling the pace of this game, if they get in here and they say, right, you're not going to take this team fight, we're the ones who want the team fight, guess what? Our team fight, not yours. They're going to start controlling the pace of the match. And if the Radiant start failing to push towers, then we're going to go into a protracted mid-game. And a protracted mid-game would be very interesting for either side. Now, SK, the only remaining hero in this mid lane to defend this T2 tower. In comes the Invoker. There's the flare from Clockwork. Not going to hook shot in, looking for that SK. And instead, a rotating Pudge comes in. Right up above is also the DK. Hook going to miss. In comes that Clockwork, looking for the Pudge. Instead, he rotates onto the SK, who's taking a lot of damage. He pops his armlet. Is it enough? It's barely enough. But he is going to get taken down by the Clockwork. In comes the Lagunic Blade. Kill confirmed. Puck actually has the final kill. Now they're going to deal just that little bit more damage, and Invoker going to drop like a rock. Mid lane going to start taking a lot of damage. Pudge turning this around, and indeed Creepwave is going to push right on out here. T2 tower just a little bit closer to death. Only 200 health remaining, and I should start making jokes about how its health is in the red, folks. It has less than... Basically, it has less than 2/16. Actually, it has exactly 2/16 in its health left, which is a weird metric to go by. Don't even ask me why I'm going to use that as a metric.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Now, the mid T1 tower for the Radiant going to start taking damage, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. They lost 3 heroes. Chen's going to try and turn this around with the Wild Ring Ripper, but still, the T1 tower going to get taken down. TP in from Axe. Pudge going to find one of the Rippers, but... what is that exactly going to do for you? You killed Chen Creeps, yes, and killing Chen Creeps is always a good thing. You force him back into the jungle. It means he can no longer rotate. It means he has to get back in there, get more creeps. But at the same time, when you could have hooked an actual hero from that and possibly gotten a kill from that situation, not exactly the best hook that Pudge would have been looking for. In any case, though, illusions from Puck right forward here, scouting out just a little bit more. Flare shot comes out, going to find that tower, which now sitting pretty at 200 HP, and its HP is dropping rapidly. The Dire, they're going to pop the glyph. It's right in deny range. They find the Axe. Dismember comes out. They're still looking for the tower. Actually, it's going to go down. Meteor Strike comes in. Puck went very far in here. The tether comes out. It finds 3 heroes. 1 tether gets broken, and the rest just wear out. Pudge hook comes out. It's simply not enough, though. In the meantime, Invoker's gone down. Puck's gone down. They're looking to turn this back around. Axe already gone down. Nightmare comes out on the Skeleton King. He's taking just that little bit of damage. Now it wears off, and they're just going to back off. The Radiant, they didn't feel safe going for the SK. Instead, they're just going to back off. They already lost 2 from that. And instead of what could have been a great engagement, I mean, yes, they got the T2 tower. They got tower out of that, so they got just a little bit more of a gold advantage. But looking at what happened in between that, the gold advantage just got a little bit more neutral, realistically. It went from 4,000 all the way down to 1,000 here. The Dire really flexing their muscles, showing that, yeah, you guys can push towers, but guess what? We can defend towers. Not only can we defend towers, we can kill you guys while we're defending towers, and we can still get the farm we're looking for. The XP advantage is heavily in favor of the Dire right now. So the Radiant aggressive move here, not really working too well in their favor as of yet. They're looking to make it work, and they really want to make this work. But going into the mid-game, they're going to have to adopt a more defensive standpoint. They still need to push towers, yes, but they're going to start needing to get more farm. They can't continue 5-manning like that, and they need to split push more, and they need to make sure that they can get farm going into that mid-game. Because if they don't have farm going into that mid-game, that means the Dire are really going to start flexing their muscles. Now both sides contend just to sit back and farm for the time being. The original Dire wards already having expired now, both runs being warded, and it's worth noting that the Radiant have no wards out in the field right now. Zero, zip, none. Do any of them have said wards? None of them even have said wards. They have sentry wards. Did I say that right? No. I'm just saying things. They don't have sentries, they don't have observer wards, they have no wards out on the field. What do they have in stock? They have no observer wards in stock and sentry wards just ready to go. Chen just grabbed the observer wards actually. He just bought out the shop immediately. Puck almost getting caught out, the hook shot in from Clockwork, but instead that is a blink dagger on Puck, so Puck no escape problems whatsoever. The orb out with the face shift immediately followed by a blink dagger equals no problem whatsoever. Now a rotation in, that's going to be Chen reinforcing into the bot lane. They're going to do a 4-man push, but already it's a 4-man defense here. SK, Puck, Pudge, and it looks like Lina all here for the defense. Tower's going to start taking damage. This is their T2 tower. SK going to get caught in the cogs with Gyro. In comes the Puck. They try to turn this around. DD gets popped on the Clockwork. Sound Blast comes out from Invoker. There's the Meteor Strike. Lands directly on SK, but Axe goes in right here. He gets stunned. The Dismember comes out. The Pudge gets Cold Feet. He's gonna, or Cold Snap. He's taking a lot of stun damage here. Puck goes down. DK pops his Dragon Form. Is it going to be enough right now? The Radiant, they're still right here. They are still ready to make a push here. It's 15 to 15 right now with the Puck loss. And right now with the T2 tower dangerously low on health, it's at 470 and sitting pretty. About 1/3 of its health. The Radiant, they're still looking to push this. They've got a 4-man here, while in the meantime, Axe is still back in their base. Pudge with that hook. Nightmare on Bang, and saves himself just a little bit of problems. Hook shot comes out, it misses completely. Dragon Slave gonna come out from Lina. Now Lina gets caught out. Oh, with a light strike, and it temporarily save her from the Invoker. Instead, another Punch Hook miss. The entire Radiant team retasks. Flare comes out. Bane is pursuing. Pudge gonna run up. He's gonna try and juke into the jungle there, and that's not an issue whatsoever. In the meantime, the tower starting to take damage here, and indeed, T2 tower going to drop for the Dire. Now they have one T2 tower remaining. DK even getting picked up. Meteor Strike lands on him. He gets Nightmare. He's trying to run back. His Dragon Form wears off, and now the Radiant just trying to flex their muscles here. They're going to start backing off. Pudge Hook barely missing the Clockwork creep, or the Chen creeps going to back off here, and the Dire just going to clear the creep wave, and the Radiant, they're content. Not only have they come out on top of that, getting a 2-kill, or basically just a 1-kill advantage from that situation. They got 2 kills out of it. But not only that, but they got a T2 tower, and that's exactly what the Radiant were looking for out of that. XP advantage going to sharply turn around. Gold advantage going to sharply turn around. And this just really shows the XP graph is starting to look like a sine wave. The gold graph already looks like a sine wave. Going into this mid game, this is a very even game right now. The Dire, they've controlled the pace of the match previously. They've gotten out of this, and they've shown that they absolutely deserve to be in this game here. They've gotten one tower, and they've won team fights. They've defended towers, and they're doing exactly what they need to do going into this mid game. Oh, and an invisible Bane scouting things out. Got Fiend's Grip. Is he going to go? Nope, he is just going to back off. Instead, he's still just going to act as a scouting force here for the Radiant team, who seem content to push 2 up this mid lane, just maintain a little bit more lane control, because right now bot lane is pushing out, but top lane, that's a different story. It's actually aggressively pushing towards that T2 tower. My question now is, are the Radiant going to rotate towards that? They've already sent Pudge and SK towards that top lane. Yes, they are. They're going to start rotating towards that top lane. Invoker, Bane, and Chen. Now, Axe following suit. They're going to rotate right up towards it. Clockwork, in the meantime, probably going to maintain mid for a few moments. Nope, he's actually just going to rotate straight up. They move back. They find the creep wave. Ward comes out, a nicely aggressive ward. It's going to give them great vision of the enemy jungle, great vision of the enemy movements, and they're going to have great vision of just everything when they're sieging that T2 tower. That's the one real advantage of that spot. In contrast, yeah, I want to cover it after this fight, actually. Instead, Creepwave's going to push in. Axe is leading the charge here. The Radiant, they're certainly thinking about it. They've got a 5-man here. It'd be a 5-man against a 5-man. They're going to rotate up towards the jungle. Invoker leading the charge in the actual jungle. Axe, though, he rotates forward. Oh, if that Pudge Hook had landed, that would have been just death. Instantaneous death there for that Axe. Instead, it ends up just being nothing at all. Now Axe with backup from Chen. Invoker going to rotate back in lane. The jungle is once again just a cold standoff. The Clockwork gets found out. The Pudge gets his hook. Was that the Dream Coil? No, it was not. Instead, it was just the waning rift from Puck, just barely missing. Now everyone rotates into the jungle. They're looking for the engagement. In comes the stun from SK. He rotates onto the Chen. DK right here. He's out of mana, though. He can't do anything. In comes the Clockwork. He finds the Lina. Late Strike Ray gonna save him. And the Laguna Blade with the final kill on the Clockwork. No kill on the Lina. She's gonna back off. Earn Charge coming out. Sound Blast coming out from Invoker. Gonna start dealing damage, but a BKB up and running on the DK here, who's gonna try and turn around. Instead, SK lead the charge, going on the Bane here, who is on fire. Mortal Strike, oh, a deadly thing indeed. In comes the Puck, Tether Strike comes down, Bane gets tethered, he goes down, Invoker goes down, an excellent rot from Pudge, gonna go down here, and it's a 4 out of 5 team wipe so far. Chen backing up, his creeps trying to escape, and that's not the engagement the Radiant were looking for in any way, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Dire, they deserve to be in this match here. They went into an engagement, they won the team fight, even with Ward Vision showing the Radiant exactly where they were at all times. They still is the exact term I'm looking for, came out on top of that team fight, defended the T2 tower, which only lost about half of it. Actually, no, it already had taken damage, and he didn't lose that much health in realism.
Under attack.
And now
Radiant
Fortification
structures
getting
are
popped for the
fortified.
Radiant, but this is a waste of a Fortification. It really is. Glyph of Fortification, you're better off popping it when you know you have a chance of defending the tower. And right here, Radiant have zero, zip, none, null chance of defending this tower. That was a waste of a Glyph in realism. They should have held that off for a better chance. I guess one of the things they might be, I mean, realistically, it's worth popping the Glyph there if you think you're not going to get in another tower situation in the next 5 minutes. I mean, if you need to pop that Glyph in the next 5 minutes and suddenly, well, we had a chance of defending that tower, but because we don't have the Glyph anymore, guess what? You don't have a chance. Now, the point I was going to make earlier was about this ward, and actually it's going to get dewarded here. This ward for the Radiant, as I pointed out, it gives perfect vision of this entire top lane. Great vision of the thoroughfare of the Dire jungle. Now, let's compare that to this. This is basically its counter ward position, as in its opposite. It's... I can't think of the exact word for it right now. Either way, it covers the large creep camp. Sure, that's a big plus from it, whereas this one, it might just barely, it might not actually see that large creep camp. But this one covers the large creep camp, covers this thoroughfare in the jungle, covers this lane, but the big problem is it only barely reaches the lane itself, and it doesn't even touch the T2 tower. Oh, the Pudge, I hear a Dismember. He moves forward, the Bane gonna Nightmare himself, trying to stay alive. DK comes in, and there is the Dragon Tail, gonna save him from that Clockwork. Puck here as well, the Orb comes out dealing just a little bit more damage to the Invoker. In comes the Sound Blast, which is immediately going to get changed. The Deafening Blast, excuse me. And now the Radiant, they're all looking to push up this mid lane so far. They've got 4 mid here, exception of Bane, who had a Nightmare and TP back, and now they're going to rotate out of here. They're just going to go back to farming, and right now that's not the worst situation for them. DK, he's back to farming the jungle. Pudge here as well. He just popped that DD rune, and right now the net worth of Pudge and DK is just starting to fly through the roof here, as Chen and the other Radiant semi-carries are just unable to keep up with it at this point. This is a very interesting situation. Axe started out with those wards. I'm not sure if he bought them. If he did, that's a very interesting situation to buy wards on an Axe. I'd assume that Axe here is acting as their hard carry going into this, especially now that he's got his Blade Mail. And if he's not, that just seems like a silly decision to me. Like, who are you going to have as your hard carry?
Bottom tower is under attack.
It's more of a game of semi-carries right now is the issue for the Radiant. Realistically, they're no longer trying to run any one hard carry, whereas they're trying to run multiple semi-carries. Or just damage sinks, for that matter. Either way, the Radiant, they're all rotating up into the Dire jungle. 4 of them here, they're going to get perfectly spotted out by this Dire ward. With the exception of Axe, wasn't even there yet. Instead, SK going to go straight up against the Axe. They all rotate over. The hook shot lands on the Lina, the one person who didn't need that to happen. Now this member comes out. Axe is going to drop like a rock. Lina Laguna Blade comes down, trying to get whatever revenge she can. And now Tether comes out from Puck. Invoker SK gonna go down, but his ult gonna pop. He's back in the fight here. He's going after that Invoker, who's only got his Cold Snap and the Meteor Strike right now. Instead, he gets picked up by that Yule Scepter, and he's gonna get taken down by the Silence from Puck.
What ingratitude.
And again, 4 heroes going down in exchange for 1. The Dire getting the much better exchange in the enemy jungle right there. And that is exactly, and I mean exactly what the Dire are looking for right now. They may not be pushing towers all that much, but I'll be damned if they're not winning team fight after team fight, and that's what they're looking for right now. The XP advantage really starting to tell that the gold's still basically neutral, and this is an interesting one that you wouldn't fully expect. Gold is generally a stat that once it goes in someone's favor, it stays in their favor for a majority of the game until either late game, but when you have a big change mid-game,
Radiant's
it's
top
kind of an
tower is
interesting
under attack.
situation. And I'm sorry if I sound like this is getting a little bit worse by the moment, as at this point, I'm basically in need of water. I did not drink a cup of water before this, and it
Radiant's
makes me feel
middle
silly.
tower is under
So
attack.
apologies for that. Oh, hookshot comes out from Clockwork. He's going to pop the call. This member comes out. The Fiend's Grip on the Pudge, who doesn't even look like it's happening. Pudge is just so big, apparently, it doesn't even matter. And Pudge's godlike streak going to get ended here. And the Dire are just going to immediately back off. They dealt a little bit of damage to that T2 tower in exchange for a Pudge. And right now, in this situation, it's a very interesting exchange for the Dire. Pudge actually just picked up a pipe, I believe. And indeed, Pudge did just pick up a pipe. He was able to pop it in that fight. Excuse me. Now the Radiant, oh, they're rotating up into the jungle. They don't see the SK. I'm not sure, is the Ward in a position? No, the Ward's not actually in a position where it could see up on the high ground there. So he had no vision of that. That was just a great TP out from SK. That could have turned out very brutally for him. And instead, he's just able to get out of that situation where the Radiant are all in his jungle and looking for blood. Now Invoker and Clockwork starting to push this lane. I regret not turning that off. I'm sorry for that. 1 second, please. Either way, at the moment, I mean, the state of the game is
Dire's
essentially on the
top
lines
tower
of,
is under attack.
oh shit, I need to compensate this fight. In goes Invoker. There's the Nightmare from Bane. Chaos Meteor going to land directly on top of Pudge here. They're going to turn right back around. The tether's going to break on both Axe and Invoker. They turn around. Necronomicon creeps in the field. They do have a level 2 in play, I believe. Pudge trying to get out of here. He's taking a lot of damage. He goes down. Puck gonna blink out of this. Was it the orb? No, it was the orb, actually. Orb's right around in the other direction. Reinforcing for the SK here. Bane gonna Nightmare himself. They're turning this around. They're trying to anyway. SK, he's gonna go down. His ult gets popped. Puck gonna orb back in here. Phase shift immediately. SK taking a lot of damage. Puck just trying to assist. The silence comes out. Is it going to be enough? The stun comes out from the Centaur Conqueror. Puck just barely dodging that Sunstrike from Invoker. Now this stun comes out from Skeleton King. He's gonna pop his... Oh! Now he gets hookshotted. Cogs come out. He gets forced the other direction. SK goes down. DK just TPing back in. Looks like he's got his max form of his dragon at this point. And the top 2-2 tower, no less, going to go down. Overall, kind of a weird exchange. I'm not sure if the Radiant lost anyone during that entire fight, but the Dire did lose 2 heroes, and 3 actually. Lena went down at the very start of the fight. So that's a 3 for possibly 0 exchange. And that's not what the Dire were looking for. Plus they lost the T2 tower. And that's going to send the XP graph spiraling in the other direction. That gold graph going to follow the exact same standard. And it's just so strange that's going to work out that way. And I'm sorry, but one more moment. Please forgive me for this. This does not happen in any situation. I feel terrible doing this way. My apologies for that. That will not happen ever again. Either way, right now, the state of the game is coming down to who's winning each team fights and who's taking a tower, and if they can do that team fight while taking said tower. The reason the reason that XP graph and gold graph just turned around so sharply, so very sharply in fact, is because they managed to take the tower while coming out on top of that team fight, or at least coming out on top of what I would call a protracted siege. Oh, Pudgy gets found out. Bane gonna get dismembered. The Centaur with a War Stomp, though, going to save that Bane for the time being. In comes the Clockwork, body blocking the Bane for a few moments. Chaos Meteor comes in. Pudge gonna try and force step himself out of the way. Instead, it's simply not gonna happen, and Pudge is gonna go down. Pudge, who rotated into the enemy jungle looking for a kill, instead is going to walk out of that jungle knowing that he just died rather brutally. And in the meantime, it certainly looks like the Dire are just content to sit back and farm. And looking at their net worth, DK is leading in net worth right now, and that's not going to be too bad right now. He's just farming like crazy, actually. What has he got? He's already got his BKB. He's got an Assault Curiosity at this point, and he's got Hand of Midas. So his GPM going to look nice and steady right now. It's actually leading above Axe, so the two hard carries going at it here. Axe, in the meantime, doing the enemy Ancients right now. He's got his own Heaven's Halberd. He's got a Yule Scepter. He's got Blade Mail, so he can go into a fight. He can disable someone with Cyclone. He can disable them with Heaven's Halberd, and then just add on top of that, he has Blade Mail. He can reflect their damage right back at them. So Axe going into team fights is going to be a very good situation. Oh, what are these shenanigans? They are shenanigans is what they are. Oh, there's the Pudge. Hook comes out, he finds an axe, he's going to force stab himself, but there's that Yule Scepter coming into play. Pudge trying to run away. In comes another Yule Scepter from the Invoker this time, trying to turn this around. Assault Curious gets popped. Blade Mail as well. They turn this right back around. Pudge, he pops the Dismember. He's going on the axe. Is he going to go down? Yes, he will. Culling Blade. The animation even started playing, but it's simply not going to happen, and that's just going to be the end right there for that axe. Oh. Now, I just gotta say this. I gotta look at this. How many Necronomicons are there on the Radiant team right now? There are 3 Necronomicons on the enemy team. 3 Necronomicons. What are these shenanigans? Usually you get 1, maybe 2 on a rare occasion. Not 3. 3 Necronomicons is just a crazy number. And that really just makes me want to say the Necri Omninomicon. Sorry, Terry Pratchett references. There's nothing better than if a book about raising the undead and a book about necromancy is a great thing, well, a book about communicating with the undead is just a whole nother league right there. Ah, Terry Pratchett. You will be missed. Chen building up a different variation of army at this point. This is one of those things I love about Chen. His army can suit whatever it needs to suit at the moment. Early on in the game, you saw him with Wild King Rippers, and now he's rotating into more a Centaur-oriented build. He's got Centaurs, he's got a Hellbear at this point, originally called an Ursa, and right about now, like, he's building an army that's more stun-oriented that can deal DPS, and that's going to be a very good situation going into this mid-game compared to the Wildkins, who had Cyclone, yes, that could deal a lot of damage to the creep wave, who could maintain the push on a tower. But the issue with that is that they're just not that useful in teamfights when you need stuns. You need something that can help you in that teamfight. Pudge can extend forward once again. In come the Chen creeps. One stun comes out. There's the second one. Necronomicon creeps in here as well. The warrior already right there. Sunstrike comes in. Or no, Light Strike Ray comes in actually. And there is the Puck Tether. Now they're trying to turn this back around. In goes the SK. He goes down, actually. Lena's already down. They're still trying to get some kills out of this. Puck diving far too deep on this. Now trying to run away, realizing the team fight is lost. And able to get that blink off. Invoker going to get the kill on Pudge as well. And that's 3 for 0. 3 for 0. That's not an engagement you're looking for in any case. Puck apparently wasn't feeling safe until he was on the high ground, as in way on the high ground. Healing hand coming out from Chen here, just going to heal everyone up just a little bit more. Not only that, but he even has mech if he was there to use it. Chen actually too far back, just going to pop his Hand of God. Puck Orb comes out here once again. Now the tower's starting to get pushed. Blink out at the last moment. In comes the hook shot. DK gonna pop his Dragon Form. Cogs come out, but Clockwork 2 on health. He's gonna get down. Hex comes out from, I think it's DK actually. Was it Puck? It was Puck. Puck of the Scythe of Ice going to Hex the Clockwork in this situation. Out comes the Deafening Blast. The T3 tower actually already down here. Blade Mail comes out, but it's not enough to save the axe. Puck so far in here, in a phase shift trying to stay alive. Chaos Meteor comes in. Puck able to avoid it completely. Skeleton King going in here. The stun comes out onto the Invoker. They're trying for the kill here. Puck chasing after the Chen. Where did he go? That's a very good question.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
And the answer to that is Chen. He's just going to pop his Test of Faith, and he immediately goes back to Fountain. And now a level 3 Necronomicon out for Invoker. That's 2 level 3 Necronomicons out for their team. And holy shit, Necronomicons. How many Necronomicons do you need? The Dire, they're just looking to push this mid lane. It's 25 to 26 right now. And I think the gold and XP advantage is going to start drifting. No! Gold is perfectly 0 right now, and XP is actually still in favor of the Dire. Excuse me. That is just crazy going into this mid game. Towers are slowly dying for both teams, and a level 2 Necronomicon now coming out for Clockwork. Just Necronomicons everywhere. There's going to be more Necronomicon creeps in a creep wave than there's going to be creeps. That's just going to be absurd. Oh, the Dire Punch goes in here once again. He gets found out by the Clockwork. Hookshot comes in. There are the Cogs. Is that a Light Strike? No, it's a Sun Strike. Both of them come down, actually. Landing on that punch, Laguna Blade comes down. Is it going to be enough? The Clockwork is still alive. Hand of God gets popped. Or no, excuse me, Test of Faith gets popped. Hand of God already getting popped by those strings. BKB for Skeleton King and DK going into the fight here. Bane goes down. They turn this back around. They're going on the Clockwork. Is he going to stay alive? Yes, going for it. No! His ult gets popped in Clockwork. He's going to turn it back around. The stun comes in. That's going to be the kill confirmed. Now Clockwork's unable to get out of his own cogs fast enough. Axe in the meantime goes down. Invoker trying to stay alive. SK the kill confirmed, and Necronomicon creeps. Necronomicon creeps. And Lena gonna get the kill onto Chin. That's a full team wipe for the Radiant, making it 26 to 31. 1 kill for a 5-man wipe. Hell no, that's not what you're looking for in any situation. Now in the mid lane, Puck gonna start pushing this forward, and the Dire, they're gonna reinforce. They're looking for a T2 tower, and the real question right now is, are there any buybacks? And there's only one buyback available for Radiant, and they're not going to take it until that T3. They are going to pop the glyph. Now this time, this glyph might be considered worth it because it might buy them just a little bit of time. Actually, no. Never mind. This glyph completely not worth it. They have Bane respawning in 5 seconds, Clockwork in 10, Invoker in 15, Chen in 15, Axe in 15. If they had somehow been able to deny this tower going down for just a few moments, then that glyph would have helped a lot more when everyone respawned. They could have popped the glyph and then TP'd in or just all ran in at that same time. Instead, now they have no glyph, and their courier actually went down somewhere in that fight. Nightmare comes out on the SK, who apparently don't give a fuck. His ult's going to get popped. It's already back online here. He's out of mana. Or he's got full mana at this point. Never mind. Gets his ult. Now, DK coming in here. Gonna throw out his Dragon Tail. The Radiant are going for this. They're going to try and turn this around. Clockwork Kong come out, but it misses the DK just slightly. And instead, they get the Nightmare on SK. He has no escape technique for in reality. He's going to try and TP out. There's no Fiend's Grip. There's a hook shot, though, and the hook shot able to get the deny there. And that's going to be kill confirmed. They lost T2. They lost T3 tower. And they lost quite a few heroes, but they were able to save their racks in that lane. Which overall, denying Mega Creeps into a lane, yeah, you always want to deny having Mega Creeps in a lane. The melee barracks actually lost a third of its health, and now they're pushing that mid lane. They're going to turn this right back around. They're going for it, and this is the 46-minute mark, too.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I don't think anyone's actually 6-slotted as of yet. DK certainly working on it, but he still has his Quelling Blade, and he can get rid of that easily. So he's not quite 6-slotted as of yet. That's melee barracks gone. Range barracks not far behind. The Radiant, they're pushing this. Deafening Blast comes out. Lena goes down. Pudge trying to run away from this. Now he's going to do just that. Chaos Meteor comes down, misses them completely. Axe going to get hooked forward. Not exactly a problem for him, because that's the Hand of God getting popped. They rotate right towards that top lane. T3 tower goes down. Necronomicon creeps everywhere. So many Necronomicon creeps. In comes Puck, though. There's the tether. They're trying to turn this around. Lena off the Light Striker away. Laguna Blade comes down immediately. Lena gets taken down, actually. Invoker goes down to the Puck. They're trying to turn this around. Puck going to miss. If that had landed, that would have been a kill guaranteed. And now they're trying to focus on the Necronomicon creeps, actually, which is kind of a weird decision. I mean, sure, it's worth a lot of gold from each one, but in comparison, could have gotten a hero from that kill. I guess any little bit is going to help the Dire right now. Even though, I mean, they still have an XP advantage, they still have a gold advantage. Pudge is really being aggressive with this. He finds the Clockwork. There's no one to hook shot onto, so that's going to be a dead Clockwork. Who's also building his own recipe for a level 3 Necronomicon at this point. And by building it, I mean he's already got it. That's going to be 3 level 3 Necronomicons for the Radiant team the moment Clockwork respawns in 55 seconds. This game is just getting silly at this point. I mean, we're going into the late game, and it's so even. XP has slowly slipped in favor of the Dire, and by slowly, I mean there's been a jagged line going down in their favor for a while now. But Gold, on the other hand, is only at 2.5k. Oh, what's that Pudge doing? He found a Bane, and Fiend's Grip comes out. He's just trying to save himself. Puck Orb comes in, just a little bit more damage, and Puck with the Waning Rift, excuse me, going to get the final kill. In comes Axe. Necronomicon creeps in the field once again, turning right back around. Going to assist the kill on this SK if they can. Blade Mail gets popped on the Axe. He's trying to fall back as fast as he can. Stun comes in. Deafening Blast. Puck Orb. Just trying to deal as much damage. Puck goes way in here. Tether comes out. Are they going to break it? Axe going to break it right away. Chen not going to do so. He's going to take a lot of damage. DK comes in here. SK going to turn right back around. His ult gets popped. Invoker trying to stay alive. The Light Striker Ray comes in. The final kill. Laguna Blade right there. Axe going to go down. BKB gets popped for SK. They're looking for the racks, and they're going to get it very safely. Buyback from Invoker and Axe. They're getting back in this fight here. Bane and Chen still down, though. What is going on? Clockwork so far forward. No Puck so far forward. Gonna try and stay alive, but Puck goes down. Buyback from Puck. Mid lane of Rax is gone. It's full Mega Creeps in the mid lane for both sides. Culling Blade comes out from X. Kill confirmed on the Lena. SK goes down. They're still turning this around. Puck trying to stay alive. Orb comes out once again. Orb's forward. There's the Waning Rift. Battle Hunger already going down. DK going forward. Dragon form trying to deal as much damage as possible. Axe just trying to stay alive. He turns around. He gets picked up by Yule. Scepter Divinity. This is Clockwork. He goes in. He's gonna go down. Puck, or Axe right behind. Puck moves forward. Pudge right here. Bane, another buyback. Clockwork gonna buy back here. Nightmare comes out. They're gonna try and turn this around. Pudge is way far into the enemy territory here. Clockwork pushes forward, and that is insanity, right? What just happened there? Buybacks from both sides. So many buybacks in effect. Puck gonna get caught out, and the Pudge hook going to miss no less. Fiend's Grip comes out from Bane. That's going to be a dead Pudge. That was intense, to say the least. So very intense. It's been a long time since I have almost run out of breath. Casting a match. The last time that happened was a TF2 match. That was just amazing to see that happen. But Dire, they dove. They went for the kills there. They wanted it. They wanted a GG push out of that. They got a mid lane of Frax. There's mega melee creeps for both sides. They got plenty of kills. They forced so many buybacks. Look at that. Every single person in the game has bought back at this point. Every single person. Now the Radiant, they're looking to push this. It's 2 down on either side. Axe and Invoker about to be up here with 35 seconds for basically Pudge and Puck at this point. And they might be going straight for a GG push here, but it's going to be 3v3 for a few moments. They're going to have to pay this. Nope, they're going to rotate to the bot lane. Are they looking to backdoor this? Could they backdoor this?
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, they can. The Necronomicon creep's going to count here. DK comes in here. There's the Sunstrike and the Light Strike Ray, actually. Necronomicon creep's taking a lot of damage. Tower still taking damage. DK going to push forward. Decides it's not even worth it. Pick up from the Bane, or excuse me, not from the Bane. And now overall, I mean, that was a nice push from the Radiant, but nothing's going to result of it. And now 5 people are back up for both sides. This is just crazy. The Radiant, they still have their bot lane, they still have their top lane, whereas the Dire, they've already lost their melee barracks in the top lane. They fully lost mid lane, and their bot T3 tower's taking a lot of damage now. Oh, DK, if he gets caught out here, he gets picked up by Yule's Scepter. Are they going to try and go on this? Battle Hunger going to come out. Pudge going to get him out of there. Blade Mail gets popped, and now Axe needs to retreat from the situation. Chen right there to reinforce. And actually the recall going to come out. Test the Faith, able to get them out of there. And a Pudge hook on a creep. No kill there for Pudge. Oh dear indeed. It's going to be 5v5 in this mid lane. The Dire are advancing. The Radiant are right here looking to advance. Looks like they don't have any Necronomicon creeps in the field right at the moment.
Rock it on!
Flare coming out here once again. Track the flare. Yeah, deals just a little bit of damage to the bot lane. And now mid lane pushing in for the Dire. It's going to be on the Radiant to defend this. Dragon Breath, or Breathe Fire, excuse me, coming out for DK. Going to clear the creep up just a little bit more. Flare comes out from Clockwork, going to scout out a little bit more. And this is one of those things I like to point out, is there really isn't an excuse for having no wards. The Radiant, they have a nice ward on the bot run, so they're going to be able to see if they try to do Roshan. And it looks like they are rotating towards Roshan here. Puck already right here. Centaur probably going to come out. Yep, they're rotating into Roshan. The Radiant know this is happening. Already, Axe and Clockwork rotating in that direction. Invoker not far behind. Flare comes out, going to try to delay the inevitable. And now the Dire, they realize that they're going to back off very quickly. Puck Illusion able to scout that out, and they're just out of Roshan instantaneously. And now we're going to have the famous Roshan Pit standoff, in which one team wants to do Roshan, the other wants to deny or do Roshan themselves, but neither team feels safe going in to do Roshan immediately. Instead, the Radiant is able to rotate down into their bot lane, trying to get just a little bit more farm. And right about now, this is one of the situations where the XP graph 20,000 advantage for the Dire, almost 10,000, well 7.5k actually for the Dire, gold that is. And they are in advantage in every metric, but the problem being is we've gotten to the late game stage where, excuse me, this game, it's no longer about, we've got more gold than you. This is no longer about, we've got more than XP value. This is Dota at its purest, at its finest. This is about, well, positioning. It's about positioning, it's about team fight. It's about getting the spells off in the right order at the right time. And that's exactly what this is going to come down to in a few moments. Deafening Blast going to come out from Invoker, going to seal the creeps in for a few moments. Chaos Meteor comes down, going to clear the entire creep wave, actually. And now the Dire, they're going to be forced back for a few moments here with no creep wave. They have no chance to push this mid lane or go for an engagement. And it's still just a 5-man via 5-man. Neither team wants to commit. They want to catch out the enemy. They want to make them make a mistake. They don't want to be the ones to make said mistake. And so this is a very cautious game of Dota 2 right now, where just neither team wants to actually go aggressive or defensive. They want to play this safe.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Creep wave pushing in for the Radiant. This is the problem with mega creeps in one lane, is you have to split push at all times. You have to keep the creeps out of your base. You have to make sure they're not pushing in. And right about now, that's the issue that the Dire are experiencing right now. They're gonna have to split push both mid and top lane, excuse me. Whereas bot lane is just free for the Radiant to do whatever they want. So not just do Roshan. And actually, this did get spotted out. They have a nice ward seeing this. Pudge gonna come in here. He's looking for a hook. He runs right into the Axe. He gets the hook on the Invoker. Is it going to be enough? Yep, they're going to leave Roshan. They're all going to turn around. Pudge gets picked up by a Yule Scepter. In comes the Axe. Now entire Dire team reinforcing. They're still going for the Roshan. Puck going to orb in here, looking for either the denial or the steal. Clockwork going to pick it up. Now in comes the Chaos Meteor, dealing damage. Laguna Blade comes out. The kill on X goes out. Necronomicon creeps everywhere. Lina trying to back off. BKB gets popped, dealing so much damage. Invoker goes down. SK. It's SK versus X. No, it's Clockwork versus SK, actually. Mech comes out, trying to turn this around. He's going to go down. Aegis gets popped immediately. Puck right there. Waning Rift comes out. DK chasing after the Bane, trying to run away. Bane dealing so much, or trying to run away. Not going to happen. Puck face shifts once again. A nice face shift. Clockwork going to get stunned by the SK. Puck needs to get out of here. Going to do just that. Orb comes out. The hook from Pudge. Clockwork going to go down. There's no escape in this fight anymore. He's able to pop, just everything, trying to stay alive, but no, Puck comes back in for the final kill confirmed, and that's the Aegis gone. And not only that, but it's a 3-hero loss for 1. Just chaos outside the Roshan pit there. Both sides contending for Roshan. Puck even orbing into the Roshan pit, looking for either the deny or the steal. Simply not going to happen, but instead they still managed to pop that Aegis and get the kill on the person who had the Aegis. And overall, that's a great exchange for the Dire, who already have a great XP advantage. They already have a great gold
Dire's
advantage.
top barracks are
I mean,
under
that's just great
attack.
for them, and why does this still exist?
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
And this is what I'm talking about, though. They spent time to do Roshan. They spent time to go and win a team fight where they just didn't split push, and that means they fully lost their top barracks right now. And they're going to have to keep 1 or 2 heroes back in their base at all times to keep that top lane pushed out, to keep the split push going, to make sure that they're not losing their racks. Obviously, bot lane going to be a different story for both sides, but for the time being, this is just a very close and interesting match. Neither side wants to fuck up right now. If either side loses a team fight, if they majorly mess up, then this could easily go to the favor of the other side. Both sides have to play this so carefully, and if they don't, it might just end up being GG right then and there. Pudge, force staffing himself onto the high ground. Good job, Pudge. Let's stare at Pudge for a few moments and give my mouth a few moments to salivate, so that I can catch my breath
I
too.
meant to do that.
And laugh at Pudge. Ha, Pudge, you failure. Now up in top lane, the Dire realize that, yeah, they can push out mid lane, but mid lane is basically neutralized at this point. Neither side has regular creeps anymore. Both sides have mega creeps in that mid lane. So they're going to push out top lane instead. They're going to split push top lane and see if they can push that out. But the issue being is the Radiant realizes it well. They're pushing straight up mid lane here, which is going to take them a little bit longer because it's Mega v Mega, so a little bit more health on either side, but it still does mean that the Dire are contending with Mega Creeps instead of just Mega Creeps versus Mega Creeps. So top lane in general is going to push out a little bit slower compared to the Radiant, who are pushing this mid lane quite aggressively. And I do want to point out, they no longer have wards, whereas the Dire, they have top rune warded, bot rune warded, and they can see the haste rune there, whereas the Radiant actually can't. Plus it's nighttime, Invoker couldn't actually see that haste rune right there. Ah, nighttime.
Do it with flair.
Now Flare coming out, the Radiant, they are centralizing on this mid lane, and instead they still have Axe pushing the bot lane. I'm wondering, are they going to try and rotate down towards the bot T3 tower? And indeed they are. Clockwork going to start the push here. The Necronomicon creeps making this possible. 2 TPNs occurring already. Lina comes in. 4v2 so far. 4v3 actually. No, it's actually 4v4 in general. In they go, though. Invoker goes down immediately. The tether comes down from Puck, not going to find anyone. Clockwork still running away. In comes the Axe. There's the Laguna Blade for the kill confirmed. Axe trying to deal as much damage as possible. His counter Helix dealing just a little bit of damage, but it's simply not enough. Chen going to go down. Axe going to go down. And actually the recall from Axe going to get him out of there. Chen going to go down, but Lina's going to go down as well. So it's going to be 3 for 1 in favor of the Dire. And they didn't lose, though they did lose the T3 tower actually, and the melee racks took a lot of damage. It's not Mega Creeps in that lane, but it's just weird to say in the least. Like, one of the advantages the Radiant have right now are those Necronomicon books. If they really wanted to, they could just smoke, run right by the creep waves, run right by the Dire. If the Dire were pushing top lane, they could have gone right here and just popped all the Necronomicons, and the tower would have died almost instantaneously, and the barracks behind it. They don't need to push the lane out that much. They just need to make sure that the lanes are at least on the Dire side of the map, or somewhat close. The Dire, though, they're looking like they want to go for a GG push here. They're pushing right up mid lane.
Haste.
It's going to be 5v4, or 5v2 so far. Or is it? It's going to be 5v4, yeah, because Invoker's about to respawn. Chen not far behind. They're going to push the aggression right onto the high ground here. Not a care in the world, and only the T4 towers remain. Level 3 Necronomicon coming out for Chen as well? Are you kidding? That's 4 Necronomicons! Deafening Blast coming out. Creep Wave gonna get denied. They're going for the engagement. Lina gets caught out by the Axe. Blade Mail gets popped. Chaos Meteor gets dropped. Chen has it land directly on him. Puck taking a lot of damage. Lina goes down to the Axe. Now they're turning this back around. Chen going in. Ice Pack comes out from Invoker. Hand of God comes out from Chen trying to make this happen. SK pops his ult. No, SK actually goes down. His ult's not going to happen. So many Necronomicon creeps. DK in retreat. Buyback from Buck. Pudge trying to escape. He has so much health. He has 4.5k health. Now he's just trying to retreat, trying to survive. No, he goes down. DK now trying to get out of here. He realizes that it's too late. He's going to try and just go out with a bang now. And that's simply not going to happen. That team fight just went about as poorly for the Dire as it possibly could. Did they get a T4? No. Did they deal any damage to it? No. Is the Radiant Courier sitting in a really random place? Hells yeah. Either way, are the Radiant pushing this? Are they 5 up? Yes. Is there only Puck up at the moment? Are there any buybacks? There are no buybacks for the Dire, whereas the Radiant still have 3 buybacks. This is not a good situation. One T4 tower is already down. Mega Creeps are pushing the last T4 tower as well. Oh, Clockwork! He gets the final T4 to Tower Till. He's going for the Ancient. This is going to be GG. In comes the entire Radiant team. They're ignoring the creep wave. Puck with the Waning Rift. Gonna try and delay this for as long as possible. Simply not gonna happen. Necronomicon creeps come in, and this is the GG push here, folks. Lena comes in, but what can you do? They're focusing Ancient, and that is going to be that. It will end being a 62-minute game, a 10,000 XP or 10,000 gold advantage, a 20,000 XP advantage, 44 to 46 in favor of the Dire. So many things in favor of the Dire, but the Radiant, they're still going to pull this one out because the mid game was early. The early game was even, the mid game was even, and it really just started railroading for the Dire in favor of them. The late game, the problem is once you start getting into the late game, once you start getting into the field of Mega Creeps and 6 slots, it becomes a hell of a lot less about XP, a lot less about gold. It's more about positioning, about team fight, and the Radiant, they really showed that today. They won team fight after team fight. They came out on team fight after team fight, and they pushed lanes. And in the end of things, it worked out in favor of them. As for the daily state of affairs for the channel, tomorrow will be the Duck Soup Gaming League matches. I hope you'll tune in for those. Either way, today, my name has been Pankzers, folks, and I hope you have enjoyed the match.